Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show, highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyles, community, and neighborhood. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, I hope you can hear me okay.
I can.
Oh, good. I can hear you, too. Okay,
Good.
Just want to make sure.
With the kind of luck I've been having lately, yeah, those things are good to check.
You know, anyone that's lived in the Moore County area for the last 10 or 15 years can look around and probably attest to the fact that we're busting at the seams.
That's an understatement.
Isn't it? All you have to do is go out on a Friday afternoon.
And drive anywhere?
Yeah, and realize you're like in New York City.
Yeah.
Well, I'm exaggerating, but there's been so much growth in Moore County since 2000, and so many changes, so many new generations of residents and citizens, and a big increase in a need for housing. We're gonna talk about the housing portion in a latter part of the show. With growth comes a need for storage, space. People always talk about square footage, and the families that are moving here are younger, and they're transplants, and they're bringing their stuff with them.
Yes. And
in the real estate business, one of the frequent questions we get from people moving into town, where can we store things? We have a temporary move and we've got to put things in storage, and we get all sorts of questions about the type of facilities that are here. And we're going to talk this show with Matt Baker, who is the manager of the Aberdeen NC Self-Storage, which for a lot of you, you'll know it's located, well, there are 2 locations, but the Gulliston building off Highway 5, which is sort of an iconic building and has been here for many years and has served many different purposes, has now been repurposed. And we're glad that Matt Baker could come and join us because in addition to talking about the building, the storage industry, in Moore County, there is an event coming up next Friday and Saturday, May the 19th and 20th, and it's going to be the May garage sale, but it's going to be something of titanic proportions. This isn't your neighborhood garage sale, Matt. Good morning.
Sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great.
Tell me what's going on next weekend, Friday and Saturday, and where it's going to be and some of the details.
Absolutely. We are taking a huge indoor warehouse and turning it into a storage facility, which has already been done.
Right.
But we are going to be having a yard sale to kind of kick off the event, have a grand opening, per se. And it's going to be Friday and Saturday, May 19th and 20th. Both days it'll be run 8 to 4. And we've had about 30 to 40 vendors so far sign up.
To bring their own personal wares
Correct.
and such?
Yeah, they pay anywhere from $10 to $30 to rent a booth for a week. They have a couple days to set up.
Right.
And then they have a sale day for 2 days. And
Right.
they have a day to break down.
Right.
But we're raising money for the More Free Care Clinic. So that money that they pay, the temporary booth space, goes to them. And we're also taking donations for the More Free Care Clinic.
Which is, if I'm not mistaken, the More Free Care Clinic is right next door.
To NC Self-Storage.
That's
yes,
right.
down the road here.
Okay.
So we're going to take donations for them. We provide all the advertising, all the marketing. We put out advertisements in the pilot. We have radio broadcasts and ads and whatnot. And we're expecting a good crowd. We're going to have a car show there.
Oh.
We're going to have stuff for kids.
Another car show. We had one last weekend.
This will be much smaller scale.
A little bit different.
Little different. We have the Sandhills Classic Car Club coming out, if weather permitting, of course. But they're going to be outside, and we're going to have stuff for the kids to do. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to work on the second day in conjunction with the Design Market, which is right next door.
Tell me about the Design Market.
Oh, that place is awesome. Have you been there?
Not yet.
Oh, they have artists.
Right.
It's a consignment shop. They have people that make soaps. They have people that make chocolates. They have a place that refurbishes leather works.
Cool.
It's really, really neat. They've taken some artists on that have their studios there. So you can go in, you can buy furniture, you can buy artwork, you can see their little soap-making place. It's really neat, though.
It sounds like the garage sale will also be a great opportunity for people who knew the Gulliston building as one entity. Now it's been completely repurposed. And it would be a great opportunity for them to get out there and take a look and see all the different options under that one roof.
That building is massive.
It's huge.
It's huge. 730,000 square feet.
Is that what it is?
We've taken up a little bit of it, but there's still quite a bit.
Anyone that's lived here since 2000 has been there. They've gone in, they've bought some remnants, some carpet. And you remember, I mean, you could run a professional football game or baseball game in there. It was just massive. How long have you been in Moore County?
10 years.
And how long have you been in the self-storage? Because you're managing the facility.
Correct.
Jim O'Malley is the owner. Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you guys hook up?
I read an ad in the paper and applied for the job and got it. And a little bit of background where I helped my sister move in Virginia.
Okay.
My sister-in-law move in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
And she was storing at this place called 4A Self-Storage.
Okay.
And went in there, helped her move. I noticed the management team was very nice, professional. They brought us bottles of water and food. And I said, well, this is pretty neat industry. And then when I got back from helping her move, there was an ad in the paper for a property that was being managed by 4A. Applied for it, got it, and it's been really, really good. You wouldn't think there'd be so much busyness and stuff in self-storage, but it's incredible.
It's something we have to be, as real estate brokers, proficient in.
Definitely. In
order to effectively direct our clients to the right facilities. And you actually have, in addition to the facility in the Gulliston building, you have another facility in Southern Pines as well.
We took up the Pride Trimble Furniture Factory, and that's self-storage, and we've expanded that twice now. So the business is good there. We like repurposing these old buildings that have sat vacant. In the case of the Trimble plant building, it was vacant for 15 years.
And that's not too far off the intersection of Midland Road and Highway 1.
Correct.
For people to get their bearings. Not too far from the Pine Needles, Mid-Pines area.
Street, yeah.
That's exactly right. I've been to that facility, and they really are amazing, how much space they take up. People are always looking for conditioned facilities as opposed to outdoor facilities that are not conditioned.
Correct.
And there's a good reason why, isn't there?
Definitely. Humidity really does not. It's not good for belongings, whether it be furniture or fabrics, documents, electronics. So our facilities offer completely 100% dehumidification, cooled, heated, year-round. People don't have to worry about mold or mildew growing on their stuff.
Yeah.
It just makes it very nice.
Yeah.
And not to have to worry about their stuff being ruined when they come back to it in 6 months, 1 month, 6 months, a year.
Right.
We get a lot of military deployments that are gone for a year.
So if you've been here since 07, pretty much, so you've seen the influx of the military demographic, and they, more than any group, seem to me to have a need for storage space. If they can't find it in the home that they're purchasing or renting, they have to look outside of the home for that.
Correct.
And stuff can stay in storage for the entire term that they're living here before they might get transferred out.
Yeah, we get a lot of people that are on long-term deployments. People in flux that might not know, hey, I might move into this place. I might be deployed in 3 months. My wife and kids have to go back home temporarily.
Yep.
So we offer that solution that we can take care of their stuff for as long as they need. We're month to month, but we're there as long as they need us.
Dorothy, do you hear how many times we've already used the word stuff?
Stuff.
We're gonna.
It's a very popular word today.
Well, there's anyone that moves or that's downsizing, they start to pack, and they realize how much stuff they have.
Yeah, and that's what it is too. It's just stuff. You're not real sure what it is. It's just stuff.
Yeah, we this past week, a lady who lives over in Champions Ridge had her movers come in to pack her up because she's moving up to Cary. And she wasn't going to be able to pack her stuff herself. So she hired these movers, and they came in. I have never seen a single lady with as many glasses in the kitchen, and each one of them had to be wrapped individually. And I watched these guys do this. It took forever. And I said to her son, I said, wouldn't it have just been less expensive if your mom had just donated the glassware and bought a new set of glassware, unless there was some sentimental attachment? And he said, no, you're right. He said, it's crazy. But people get attached to their stuff.
They do.
Right? And as they go in life, they keep accumulating.
Collecting.
Yeah, collecting more and more and more. Instead of minimizing and downsizing. And then one day you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, we're living like we have no space. Mm-hmm. Our 3,000 square foot home now lives like an 1,800 square foot home. Yeah. All the more reason why you guys have decided to expand to a second location here. And what can you tell people if they come in? You have a menu, like an a la carte menu based on choices, based
Correct.
on size of units, prices by term, by length. How does it all work?
We ask probing questions when people call or come in to make sure that we're giving them the correct size they need. We don't want to give them too much space and they're wasting money on it.
Right.
We also want to give them too little space, so when they start loading up, they need more space.
Right.
So we give them a nice tour of the facility, kind of showcase. I think a lot of people have an idea of what storage is, and they have that outdoor. Mm-hmm. I drive in. It may or may not be a paid parking lot, and I drive up to my unit. Well, we kind of have to train them to say this is a little bit different than what the traditional self-storage facility is. So we give them a tour, answer any questions they have, kind of give them a background of how it works, have them fill out a lease. But we want to make sure that they're in the correct size. We want to sure, because some people will call you and say, hey, I think I need a 10 by 10 unit. Well,
they don't know what size
correct.
they need.
What
right.
do you have? Well, I have a 3-bedroom home. Well, it's not going to fit into a 10 by 10 unit.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they're comfortable with the space they're getting. We want to make sure they're comfortable with even something as simple as getting in and getting out, because that's really the unique thing about the facility, both facilities. Everything is drive-in. So you can drive your moving truck directly in there. You're not out in the elements. You're not sweating in the summer heat of the Carolinas.
Right.
But everything is drive-in. Anytime they come in to see their stuff, you can drive up to units, open the door to your car, open the door to the storage unit in the same step.
Right.
And so it's a very unique perspective. And we want to make sure that they have that full picture of why we are different than compared to some of the other places that are in the area.
What percentage of your business would you say is driven by the influx of military people right now?
At least a fourth.
Probably
closer to a third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably have situations where you also have estates where people will put things in storage if they're selling a home, or if they have sold a home and don't know how to get rid of some of the
correct
belongings or dispose of them.
We're
or
actually
disperse
seeing
them.
a lot of people, children that are in their 40s and 50s.
They put children in this? Oh.
Not quite.
They put the kids in the storage areas? They're big timeout rooms, but they're climate controlled, Dorothy. It's okay.
I got no problem with that.
It's not cruel.
But we're seeing a lot of people that are the 40s and 50s that are putting their parents
in the storage facilities.
Not quite, but their parents are downsizing or moving into Elmcroft or Pine Knoll and stuff like that.
Right.
So they're kind of being the overseer and taking care of their parents' stuff for their estate purposes.
Right.
So we see that just in the last 5 years has increased quite a bit, where people are downsizing and moving into assisted living or just smaller places.
10 years ago, my mom passed away, and she had a big house in northern New Jersey. I have 2 sisters and a brother. And since we officially became orphans, my 2 sisters who live in the New York area were very emotionally tied to my mother's furnishings and things from the house that we grew up in. So they decided at that time, and it was their call, and my brother and I just nodded our heads, and whatever you want to do is fine. They took a storage facility in New Jersey to put her stuff. because they thought that they would eventually use the furnishings. And it was I don't know the size, but I remember seeing it once, and it was like packed to the gills. And my kid sister, she wouldn't want to get rid of a napkin. Everything had to stay intact. So I said, okay, so if that's what you all want to do, that's what you should do before you decide what you want to do with the property. So this is 2017. The stuff is still, I'm not kidding, it's still there.
I believe it.
It's still there. 10 years they would have been ideal tenants for you. What a great client.
Sure.
Here, just park your stuff here for 10 or 15 years. So if I bring it up to my sisters, they look at me like, we're not ready yet. No, maybe another 15 years. So you can decide what you're going to do. And they live in New York City where they have small square footage.
Yeah.
They couldn't possibly fit these big pieces into their... But that becomes an emotional situation. You probably run into that from time to time.
Absolutely. And I don't know if it's... Because sometimes it's time. Time can get away from you and say, I need to go sort out whatever's in my storage unit, and that time just never happens. But a lot of times it is sentimentality.
Right.
Well, I just can't get rid of it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to relive those memories. I can't let go. So I see quite a few of those people long term.
I'm sure you do, and you have to be in the right listening mode. So you have to speak to the other people's listening, and everyone has a different reason. For
Absolutely,
storage.
absolutely.
We're talking with Matt Baker, who's a manager of NC Self Storage. Next weekend, on the 19th and 20th of May, there's going to be probably Moore County's largest garage sale. That's another at the facility. That's another topic about people's psychology on garage sales and accumulating things. That's a topic for another day. But it's going to be at the Aberdeen self-storage facility. But with all the references to the stuff that you're going to see next week and the stuff that people have and sometimes the need for storage, Dorothy, we have a guest, I guess, to open up the second show.
I
the
certainly
second
do.
set.
I have a treat for you.
Do we say who it is, or we just let him introduce himself when we open up?
I think we should let him introduce himself when we open.
All right. I won't say who it is.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back. This is All Things Moore County.
I would have been out here a little bit sooner, but they gave me the wrong dressing room, and I couldn't find any place to put my stuff. And I don't know how you are, but I need a place to put my stuff. So that's what I've been doing back there, just trying to find a place for my stuff. You know how important that is. That's the whole meaning of life, isn't it? Trying to find a place for your stuff. That's all your house is. Your house is just a place for your stuff. If you didn't have so much stuff, you wouldn't need a house. You could just walk around all the time. That's all your house is. It's a pile of stuff with a cover on it. You see that when you take off in an airplane and you look down and you see everybody's got a little pile of stuff. Everybody's got their own pile of stuff. And when you leave your stuff, you got to lock it up. Wouldn't want somebody to come by and take some of your stuff. They always take the good stuff. They don't bother with that crap you're saving. Ain't nobody interested in your 4th grade arithmetic papers. They're looking for the good stuff. That's all your house is. It's a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. Now, sometimes you've got to move. You've got to get a bigger house. Why? Too much stuff. You've got to move all your stuff. And maybe put some of your stuff in storage. Now imagine that. There's a whole industry based on keeping an eye on your stuff. Enough about your stuff. Let's talk about other people's stuff. Did you ever notice when you go to somebody else's house, you never quite feel 100% at home? You know why? No room for your stuff. Somebody else's stuff is all over the place. And what awful stuff it is. Where did they get this stuff? And if you have to stay overnight at someone's house, you know, unexpectedly, and they give you a little room to sleep in that they don't use that often, someone died in it 11 years ago, and they haven't moved any of his stuff. Or wherever they give you to sleep, usually right near the bed, there's a dresser, and there's never any room on the dresser for your stuff. Someone else's is on the dresser. Have you noticed that their stuff is and your is stuff? Now, sometimes you go on vacation, you gotta bring some of your stuff with you. You can't bring all your stuff, just the stuff you really like. The stuff that fits you well that month. Let's say you're gonna go to Honolulu. You're gonna go all the way to Honolulu. You gotta take 2 big bags of stuff, plus your carry-on stuff, plus the stuff in your pockets. You get all the way to Honolulu and you get in your hotel room and you start to put away your stuff. That's the first thing you do in a hotel room is put away your stuff. I'll put some stuff in here, put some stuff down there. Here's another place for some stuff here. I'll put some stuff over there. You put your stuff over there. I'm putting my stuff over here. Here's another place for some stuff. Hey, we got more places than we've got stuff. We're going to have to buy more stuff. And you put all your stuff away, and you know that you're thousands of miles from home, and you don't quite feel at ease, but you know that you must be okay because you do have some of your stuff with you. And you relax in Honolulu on that basis. That's when your friend from Maui calls and says, hey, why don't you come over to Maui for the weekend, spend a couple of nights over here? Oh, no. Now what stuff do you bring? Right, you've got to bring an even smaller version of your stuff. Just enough stuff for a weekend on Maui. And you get over, and you're really spread out now. You've got all over the world. You've got stuff at home, stuff in storage, stuff in Honolulu, stuff in Maui, stuff in your pockets. Supply lines are getting longer and harder to maintain. But you get over to your friend's house in Maui and they give you a little place to sleep and there's a little window ledge or some kind of a small shelf and there's not much room on it, but it's okay because you don't have much stuff now. And you put what stuff you do have up there. You put your imported French toenail clippers, your odor readers with the 45-day guarantee, your cinnamon-flavored dental floss, and your Afrin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray. And even though you're a long way from home, you know that you must be okay because you do have your Afrin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray. And you relax in Maui on that basis. That's when your friend says, hey, I think tonight we'll go over the other side of the island and stay at my friend's house overnight. Oh, no! What do you bring? Now you just bring the things you know you're going to need. Money, keys, comb, wallet, lighter, hanky, pen, cigarettes, contraceptives, Vaseline, whips, chains, whistles, and a book.
There's nobody like George Carlin. Are you familiar with him?
I am.
You are. He was a wordsmith, wasn't he? He just captures with just commonplace things. He finds so much humor in the concept of stuff. Pretty appropriate.
Everything he said was true.
Isn't that true? I'm thinking, as I'm listening to him, of Charlotte Castle, who's a friend and a client of mine. She is in the process of moving from one residence to another, and she got what's called an early possession for storage purposes only. Not to live in the place that she's purchasing, but to store her stuff. Mm-hmm. And so once they got the key to the new home, All she wanted to do was move the things that wouldn't break, the things that she could control without giving them to a mover, and to get them into the property. So if Charlotte, if you're listening, and she says she does, she's probably laughing because it's just so appropriate to her situation. But to so many people, too bad George Carlin wasn't around today in our political world. Boy, would he have some material. Right?
Plenty.
So George Carlin has set the stage. People can store their stuff at the NC self-storage facility, and at the garage sale next Friday and Saturday, they can start to accumulate more stuff at the same time.
There's going to be a little bit of for everything, for everyone, really. The people that are looking to declutter their home,
right,
or the people that are looking for some good buys. We will have quite a variety of different vendors there.
Right.
And how it works is you basically pay $10 or $20 or $30 an hour. We're all sold out of the 10 by 20s and the 10 by 30 sizes, but we have about, I think, 13 10 by 25 sizes available.
So people can still, this week,
they can still participate. Give us a call today, and we can get you in a booth. Like as I said earlier, it's a $20, $25 price to reserve a unit. All that money is being donated, and that will allow them access starting on Mother's Day to move their stuff in.
Right.
And they have a couple days to kind of set up how they like.
Right.
Sales on Friday and Saturday, and then they have, we're going to ask them, they'll have everything out by Sunday afternoon. We will have a person on site that will be taking donations as well to the people in Princeton, North Carolina, who were affected by Hurricane Matthew.
Oh,
in the Princeton area, that area is still reeling. So good, like new stuff is going to be taken over to them. Anything, furniture, clothing, shoes, will be taken over to them and given to them and distributed in the community.
It sounds to me like this event is also a good opportunity for the self-storage business to get overly involved in the community.
Definitely.
Right.
We want to make an impact, and we've worked with the More Free Care Clinic before when we've done these specials, or not specials, but these sales. We've donated money to them before. Basically anything we take in, we donate back to the community. And as I mentioned, we've done all the advertising for it, so we're expecting a good attendance crowd, and we're going to have some stuff for the kids to do, and food trucks. So we'll have 3 or 4 different food truck vendors there, the classic car show, and bouncy houses, and it'll be a good time. Some live music will be out there. So we've always enjoyed doing these events because it gets people into the facility to see what we offer.
Right.
But it also is good because it helps a wide variety of people, whether it be the More Free Care Clinic, people that are looking to get rid of stuff, the direct sales people that are selling different wares. And it's good exposure for everybody, really.
Yeah, people don't need directions because you just say it's in the old Gulliston Carpet Manufacturing Building on Highway 5. But for those people who are new to the area, it is just below, it's just at the intersection of Highway 1 and 5 in Aberdeen, where you take 5 north, and it's on your left-hand side.
Correct.
You cannot miss it.
About a mile up the road on the left.
Yeah, it's very accessible, and it should be a great thing. So between the 2 self-storage businesses that you have, and that I guess Jim O'Malley is the owner of both, he's making some inroads in Moore County, not just in the self-storage business, but in other areas as well.
Correct. He does the multifamily Tyler's Ridge apartments.
New Whispering Pines.
And those are getting ready to be built, phase 2.
Right.
He will start later this year. And he has a commercial strip center in front of the Ace Hardware, which he also had some development in. He has a commercial site. He's looking for some restaurants to kind of cater to the college and also to the advanced learning high school that's going to be going, I believe, in 2019.
Yeah.
That area is just going to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, it sounds like another, almost like a subculture for another village of
definitely
for commerce.
There'll be the building blocks, the childhood, early childhood, child care, is going to be opening in 2019 as well. That's going to be built next to that Ace, and that Ace is fantastic.
Yeah.
You go in, you can kind of get a little bit of everything.
And you're talking about Jill and Randy Saunders' business, right?
Yeah, not a traditional hardware store per se.
We're going to come back, chat just a little bit more in the third set with you.
Okay.
May 19th and May 20th, Moore County's largest ever inside garage sale. I don't like to use the word rummage. I like the word garage, but
garage is more southern, I think. I think Rummage is more of a... He's from Wisconsin, so that's a rummage. It's a rummage sale up there. That's like soda and pop, I guess.
Well, 8 to 4 each day, the 19th and 20th, and what a great opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the Gulliston building to see what it's become and what it can be. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back.
Drink all the coffee, gotta make a fresh pot. The early bird asks, what do you got? Pots and pans and books and things, a banjo and a guitar with no strings, clothes hanging on a tree branch, the bikes are not for sale.
Welcome back. We're back. Dorothy, I think we're back.
Yes, we are back.
Okay. I was just thrown off by the
I found
opening.
a song. It's called Yard Sale. I thought it was appropriate.
I didn't, you know
it's
what?
by a little group. I don't know where they came from.
It was, you know what? I missed that. That's why I'm thinking, what is she playing? And how do we tie this in? So it's yard sale.
Yeah, it's called Yard Sale.
Okay. Well, there's going to be the yard sale we're talking about is going to be indoors. It's going to be on Friday, the 19th of May, and next Saturday, the 20th, from 8 to 4 both days at the Aberdeen NC Self-Storage Facility, the old Gulliston Carpet Warehouse, which is really one of the iconic buildings in Moore County. And as Moore County keeps changing and the demographics keep changing, the identity of Moore County keeps changing and expanding and reaching out to a lot of different people, many of whom will be at this two-day event next weekend, Matt.
Mm-hmm. It'll be both days, and we're going to have a variety of vendors there and different foods that we can try. And I'm really looking forward. There's going to be a wood-fired pizza food truck.
It sounds to me like you're going to have a little bit of the sense of a farmer's market, too.
Correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes. It'll be very open and very casual. There'll be something for everybody, which is what the great thing about farmers markets. Whether you go to the Southern Pines one, Aberdeen has a farmers market now, so they're fantastic to go to and just browse to see what you can find.
Right.
Furniture, collectibles. We have people that are selling all sorts of stuff, anything under the sun.
If people want to get more information, or if they want to educate themselves on the all the nuances of self-storage, they can go to your website.
Yes.
AberdeenNCSelfstorage.com.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of information.
Pictures, info,
the
contact form. They can always give us a call. We have office hours 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, we're 9 to 6. Saturdays, 9 to 3. Sundays, 10 to 3. As a tenant, they get access from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
But they can just drive in?
They can drive in. They get their own unique code for security that's unique to them. They punch that code in outside. A huge 14-foot garage door opens. They drive right in. Never have to worry about the weather. But the nice thing about us being on site 7 days a week is we're there for people.
Mm-hmm.
If they need a Penske rental truck, we're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
They need something with the military, especially they need to get reimbursed. So they come in at different days and say, hey, I stored with you 4 months ago and I need a receipt. Okay, great. We got you covered. So it's nice to have the ability to know that we're there 7 days a week. We're there for them. And it helps us keep an eye on things and just create rapport with customers.
Is there anything that people need to know? How do they, if let's say somebody comes in and rents a storage facility from you, any advice that you give them as to how to prepare the items for storage?
Yes, some people have the mentality that you have to push something down on the floor. Well, all our floors are epoxy, so they don't have to worry about moisture or anything like that. They can bring it in as they need, as they pack it up at home. We recommend small and medium boxes. Don't go really anything large or extra large unless you're toting towels, just not to strain your back on stuff like that. Most everything will fit into a medium box. Those are our most popular sales boxes to sell. So that would be good advice. Make sure they talk with the professional about what size do you need, and we'll walk them through that. That's the great thing about what we do. We give them a tour and tell them this is the size you're going to need.
You try to measure it in cubic feet to decide how much, because you stack high,
correct,
as well as across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be like a 10 by 10 would be 10 by 10 by 10 up, by 10 north and south.
Right.
So that would be, and all of our units are 10 foot high. But we would get them in the appropriate space that they're needing. And we try to ask those probing questions because you mentioned earlier you never realize how much stuff you have. And then we say, well, do you have any appliances? Or what about the stuff in the attic? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about the back shed. So we try to narrow that down and say this is the space you're going to need because we don't want them wasting any money and we don't want them to have to get a second unit at the end of the day.
What about... are there things that you don't encourage people to consider putting in storage?
Oh, yes.
We have go over that.
Sure. We have a small list in our lease of stuff that cannot be stored. Mainly flammable items.
Small children,
right. Exotic animals. Right. I get these storage magazines, and I'm amazed at what people try to pass. Llamas. Obviously, you have the drug aspect of it. People putting Walter White, meth labby type stuff in there. We don't want any of that. We try when somebody comes in to rent, they sign a lease saying, don't store this food. Food's another item. We don't want any pests.
Not. People would store food?
People would store food.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, people would store food. So we don't want that. We don't want any hazardous waste, whether it be toxic tires or toxic stuff. So we try to limit anything like that.
So when they put things in storage, they also get insurance as well.
Correct.
So the insurance would be negated, right, if they were to store things that were on the do not store list?
Yes, absolutely. We do include $2,500 of insurance with everybody that stores with us, and there are optional policies to go above and beyond that.
$2,500?
And if something does happen, whether it be water from above, fire, or theft, it's covered. Some people do have renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance that would cover.
Okay.
But we ask them if anything does happen, come see us. We'll take care of it before it goes on any homeowner's insurance or anything like that.
And you can also talk to your own insurance agent.
Correct.
With your homeowners to see what is covered. And that's actually something, Dorothy, you've had some issues with insurance issues the past week or two that, Matt, I don't think you were aware, but Dorothy didn't have a storage issue, but tell us what happened.
Well, we had some good old storms the other Friday night.
Yeah, we did. A lot of wind.
Lots and lots of wind because that wind decided it was going to make my old oak tree belly flop right onto my carport and thus onto my cars. And unfortunately, come to find out, the outdoor structures clause, I guess, of my insurance policy was an optional, and that box was not checked. And so that was missed by myself and my insurance agent, that the carport was not included on my homeowner's insurance, which is a big blow. So I have learned my lesson on making sure I read every little line of my insurance policy.
Yeah. So the reason your carport was detached from the home?
Yes, it was detached. Literally, it's less than 2 feet away from my house, but it's not technically attached, so they're not going to cover it.
Huh.
One of them tiny little loopholes that I managed to find.
I'm curious, had you checked that box, or had you increased that coverage, would it have altered your cost very much? Have you found that out?
I haven't found that out yet. Right now I'm trying to deal with the mess, and then I will go back and reevaluate my homeowner's insurance to make sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen again. I can't imagine that it'd be too much different. But it definitely, now I see how it pays to make sure I read every line.
So I saw some of the pictures, Matt, that she posted on Facebook. She had 2 vehicles in the carport. The carport was destroyed. It fell on the 2 cars. Her car insurance, from what I understand, she was covered with her autos, but she couldn't get the automobiles out from under the carport, so they're sitting at home. So her car insurance company, I guess, gave you a rental?
Yes, I have a rental.
Okay. So you have a rental, but now the deal is to get the carport off the car so they can be sent.
Assessed and probably totaled, because if...
Is that right? They were both totaled?
They're gonna. I'm pretty sure they're going to be totaled. My insurance company would be insane to try and fix them. I've got a Ford Flex, and you got to think at least from the midway of the back door to the back of the car is damaged. And that doesn't count any sort of shifting from the tree that may have bent the frame further forward. I'd say almost half my car has been crushed by the tree. So, and of course, my husband's car was right next to mine, and his is a little smaller, but his too. You can't even open the doors of our vehicles.
Yeah. You know, we've had in the past couple of years, it's been a couple of years, Matt, we've had shows on insurance, and people need to, I guess, to be fully aware of what their coverages are and what they're not, and everyone has a different philosophy. You know, some people say, you know, you can't have enough insurance because you can sleep well at night and you're ready for just about any eventuality. And some of these recent insurance commercials that you see on TV, they're all kind of based on a humorous
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, discount double check. But they all sort of have a humorous benchmark, and so they're very effective. But in a situation like that, it's just something that's slightly overlooked, and I guess people should always, Dorothy, I think you probably agreed, good idea to review your insurance coverages, you know, every couple of years.
Well, I'd almost say myself, because, you know, you pay your insurance. I do it through my mortgage payment. You know, I have an escrow and everything. It goes into it gets paid automatically, but it might be a thing to put on every time, you know, your mortgage payment is going to come out for the year, or your insurance payment is going to come out for the year, to go ahead and at least look at it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's something easy to put on the calendar.
It really is. So I think you've set the tone for us to get a couple of good insurance people in here from Moore County to.
Yes.
No, really, just because you want to cover yourself. You never know.
Yeah, and this is also the season of severe weather, so, you know, trees come down and swirling winds take off roofs, and if, you know, you're not thinking about it, it's a good idea to review it. It's a good idea to review it at any time, but right now, with all the severe weather we've had, it's a good idea to double check yourself.
Right.
So you don't end up in my boat.
Yeah, and I guess Matt probably has this conversation with clients who are putting things in storage about their coverages, what they're covered on. I mean, you know, like you said, this is a bad weather season, but in looking at your storage facility, that thing looks like a military dwelling. I mean, it is very impressive.
Thank you. We have more issues with Penske truck rentals, with people not getting insurance. And we've had people clip trees in southern pines. We've had people hit crows that bash windshields. Deer. We don't have a whole lot of issues with the self-storage because it is so nice. We got a brand new roof on there 6 months ago. But the truck rental side of things, I mean, we're truck rental, Penske truck at both locations, but you never know when a deer's going to come out and hit you, or you're going to back into a post at a gas station,
Right.
or clip an awning. That's all those have happened. You
Well,
just never know.
Storage is definitely an important topic in Moore County, and knowing where to go and what options are available to you is the first step. And you can start with Aberdeen NC Self Storage. Get over there this coming weekend, May the 19th and 20th, from 8 to 4. At this farmers market, garage sale, accumulation festival,
Car show,
food truck festival, the More Carefree Clinic. There's a lot of things going on that are good, and we wish you the best of luck. And you'll have a great event next week, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And if anyone has a question they want to speak to Matt,
You can speak to Matt. You can speak to Pauline.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
at the 992-2000 number.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, and just go online, AberdeenNCSelfStorage.com. And to all those people who are moving, transferring from one house to another, or don't have enough square footage in the home that they have, Matt's a guy to talk to. And Dorothy, thanks for the. I'm sorry for the news, but I think you've given us reason to.
I'm giving you the show topic. How's
I
that?
think so, and you can be. You can come and sit at the table with us the next time we do that.
Okay.
Everybody, have a great week. This is All Things Moore County.
Sunday morning we had some good sales. Sold the generator for some cash again. Sunday evening everything went great. We made $93.78. We gave 27 to my block, 'cause we have a good sense of fiscal responsibility. At the garage sale, the garage